stream. View talk starts in about 4 minutes. Get comfortable. Drop a like on the video. And let us know you're here in the chat.
Yeah. Also, nobody talk about wrestling because I've got the AEW Dynamite show DVR'd right now. I'm going to watch it after we're done.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that with me.
I was just watching it before we got on.
Ben,
I gotta be honest with you, Ben. You don't have to worry about me ever.
Me either.
You're not gonna be a special guest for a year-end show this Saturday?
Harsh.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, the sad part is I only know one professional wrestler, but he's not somebody who we definitely want on the show.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
So my son's old baseball coach went to school with Big E.
Ooh.
So
Eric Lindros?
No. No, the real Big E. And so yeah,
The real Big
maybe
E is
I'll
honestly a festival in New England.
maybe I'll pull some strings. They're both defensive linemen at Iowa.
I
Nice.
see.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only guy I know is Joey Ryan. So
That's more than me.
The only person I know is I have a cousin that did like some indie wrestling many years ago, but that's about it.
he's probably got some good stories, though.
Oh, definitely.
Those indie guys.
Leon would make an imposing wrestler.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Rikishi build.
You put him in the unitard and you just get him out there.
Singlet. It's called a singlet, not a unitard.
The Canadian Crusher. Yeah.
Canadian Crusher. That's a pretty
Not bad. It's not bad.
weak name.
I don't make up
something better than
wrestling.
that.
Swan used to call me Leon Celsius.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
People up.
that's a good one.
Oh.
This should be an interesting show.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about
right.
the NFL, and then we're going to talk about mouthpiece here.
Oh yeah. I thought about getting a mouthpiece to chew on during the show, but I didn't make it out to the sporting goods store.
I have one around here, but I'm not looking for it right now.
Why do you have a mouthpiece around there?
Well, I don't have it around. It's from when I played football in high school. So it's not around, but I still have all my football equipment.
Why do you still have your mouthpiece from football?
I have everything. I still got my jock strap.
There we go.
Jesus. Jesus.
I was gonna say I must have missed the mouthpiece part. Were you chewing it up like Steph Curry does on the court?
Not at all. No, that it was connected to the face mask.
Oh,
There you go.
It was just going. It wasn't all over the place like him.
I do feel it's odd that you still have those items.
Yeah, no, I know. I have all my baseball equipment, catcher's equipment. I mean, I literally have everything that I played high school growing
Got a
up.
little Al Bundy feel to you.
Huh?
Yeah.
Little Al Bundy feel.
You know, I've never seen that show in my life.
oh,
I know who Al Bundy is though, but
It's
I've
probably
never seen
before
the
your
show.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Kai, man. Paul Kai.
I was too young.
You're
touchdown,
better
baby.
looking. You're better looking than Al Bundy, but you certainly have a little. If you're saving all those high school relics, man, you got a little bit of Al Bundy feel to you.
You don't
Hey.
still put them on, do you?
Not at all. No, they're all in like
okay.
a big like sports duffel bag.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
duffel
no,
bag
yeah.
must smell delightful.
Oh, I haven't opened it up in quite a few years, so
yeah.
I'm trying to keep it closed.
Surprise.
Hey, but
Oh, my.
even Terry Bradshaw knew Ted Bundy's greatness at Polk High, baby.
Oh yeah.
You mean Al Bundy? Ted
Al
Bundy was
Bundy.
a serial killer.
Al Bundy,
yeah.
Al Bundy, Al Bundy. Yeah,
Ted Bundy is
Al Bundy.
known for
different
things.
a different kind of winner.
Oh,
Yeah, he would score touchdowns. No one want to go near him.
nope. Hey,
Yeah.
but Ted Bundy, big Seattle Mariners fan. That's for damn sure.
Oh boy.
Oh, sure, yeah. Everybody from the Northwest is.
Wow. All right. You guys ready to get started here?
Neil,
Sir?
what mall are you playing Santa Claus at this weekend?
I'm not playing Santa. I'm going to play Krampus. And if you don't
Are you?
leave likes, Krampus is going to get you.
Boom.
I don't know what that means.
Krampus is Saint Nick's evil sidekick in
That's right.
in German Austrian lore.
Yeah.
We have a giant Krampus parade. A German bar puts on a giant Krampus parade here every year.
That
And
sounds
they have,
terrifying.
Yeah, they have like they have a guy up on like 4-foot stilts.
Wow.
Covered
He's
in
a big
fur,
guy. He's a power
covered
forward.
in fur and ram horns and everything. And he walks up and down the street. He's like 15 feet tall.
I'd
Yeah.
rather watch 2 days worth of, is it AEW?
AEW.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Dynamite and
Those things are
Rampage.
bad. Those things are bad, man.
What do you mean, like
Like,
the product
little, like-
itself?
Like the whole story and like the interactions, the acting.
Wow.
Like bad.
Actually, you know what? I will dress up as John McClane
There we go.
and for them all. Yeah. Holiday
All right, let's-
classic.
Let's
Hold
get
on one
started
sec.
here.
I got my John McClane pop figure right here.
There you go.
All about it.
Yeah, get him with the sandwich board.
Nakatomi Plaza.
Great,
Wow.
greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Woo!
Motherfucker.
Yep.
Are you guys ready?
Yes,
Bring
Bring it
sir.
on.
All right, so let's jump into this. So let's get started. So we got a lot of folks here in the chat. I mean, here on the show, but not we're only outnumbered the people watching right now, but I'm sure that'll change as we move along. It's oh wait, no, okay, now we're starting to get some people coming in.
Starting
right?
to shoot it in.
Yeah. So listen, I think we're gonna have a good show, but I do want to kind of foreshadow what's coming on Views in the Vault, just so everyone's aware, if that's okay. Just to kind of get everyone on the same page. So tomorrow, we're gonna kick off the Fitties with a live show. So that live show is going to incorporate all of the best collections of the year. It's crazy though. Jason, myself, and Leon broke up the collections, and it took forever.
I could imagine.
Big year.
You
This is
know,
a year of the collection.
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to say fuck you to all the creators because you made it extremely tough.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to make a category for like food itself.
It wasn't
Had to
just
have
one.
like
Yeah.
10 categories.
We had a kitchen cupboard category. I mean, that's like
We had a caffeinated beverage, adult beverage, pantry. Yeah. a
It's
lot of
crazy.
different
But then
categories.
so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that on tomorrow night. Then Friday night we've got the show, the normal show, right?
Yep.
And then over the weekend we'll have keepers, sleepers, and weepers dropping.
Mhm.
That'll probably be on Sunday night like usual. And then next week's gonna have a lot of stuff going on, man. We're gonna have probably another live premiere of another segment of the Fitties. So there's 4 total segments of the Fitties. We broke it up to make it a little bit more watchable.
Mhm.
And listen, there's so much more. There's more pickups coming. I don't know. I'm sitting on 200 pickups. I know Jason and Leon are sitting on quite a few.
God
Too.
damn, dude.
Yeah.
I
It's
might
been
be
a
in
little
tri-
while since we did a pickup video though. So we
I
got
might
that.
be in triple digits too.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm definitely there.
Oh, my wife doesn't watch that show.
Luckily, I don't have one. So you know,
Yeah.
Hey,
I
don't
have,
for-
a,
don't-
I have I have my girlfriend though, so if she sees it, she won't be too upset, I guess. But are you guys ready to get started here? We're gonna talk about the NFL a little bit.
Bring it on.
Then we're
Yeah.
gonna get into some Steph Curry talk. You know how much I love Steph Curry.
Adore Steph Curry.
You love him. You
I
love
absolutely
him.
love Steph Curry. You know, what am I gonna say here? But listen, let's get started here. So we'll start with the NFL. So what I'd love to see is we got 13 people in here right now. There's gonna be more coming. I know that, but I've got a way to draw some more people in while we kind of solicit some feedback from our viewers here. So we're going to start by going division by division in the NFL and just giving our take on it before we get into the Steph Curry talk. And as we do that, I'd love it if as we go division by division, each of you out there watching right now participates and shares who you think is going to win the division that we're discussing. So without further ado, Leon, let's pull this up.
Oh,
Dang.
All right.
Bang.
Nice. I don't even need my computer tonight.
No,
Great.
we have a little thing on Zoom called screen share.
This is a classy operation.
You're not on
we got going on
recap.
here.
You're not on recap where you have to take a picture of your. You have to take a video of your computer screen.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on that.
It's just ridiculous. They
Fuck
took
that all
away
up.
that. They took that away though. You know.
I
So
know.
let's do this, guys. Let's start in the AFC East since that's where it starts here. And I'd love to hear before we jump in here. I just want to ask that everyone watching right now, who's your winner in the AFC East? If you can write that in the chat. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Who you got winning the AFC East?
Patriots.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, how could you go against the Patriots? The Bills, they've been struggling as of late. They lost to the Buccaneers last week, the week
They
before
almost
that.
pulled that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they went into overtime before Brady did Brady things and scored the game-winning walk-off touchdown.
Well, the Buffalo did Buffalo things before that.
Yeah.
Couldn't even move the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, listen, as a struggling Jets fan my whole life, I thought that once Brady left, it would kind of be, and obviously we all know COVID last year, so especially on the Patriots, a lot of players decided not to play. So, but I thought it would be, kind of a swinging of the tide. But Bill Belichick, that fucker, does it again.
Listen, hey, I want to say, like, even at the beginning of the season, I didn't think they were going to come close. I thought they were going to be in second place. I thought they'd be like, I forgot what I said. I said like 9-8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But listen, they're winning the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no competition. Like the
No,
Buffalo
there is
Bills.
competition. No, there is competition. The Bills are competition.
Mm.
The Patriots in Buffalo proved that Bill Belichick is going to continue to win games for them.
Yep.
That was Bill Belichick winning that game.
Oh, absolutely, all the way.
Yeah, I get that. What I'm saying though is the Bills keep like shooting themselves in their own foot. Like they refuse to even try to establish a running game. And they ran the ball like 6 times last week. It's like ridiculous. They're trying to win on Josh Allen's arm, and he's not there yet. And I don't know. Their defense is suspect.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots are going to win this thing running away with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the only one who's going to say the Bills are going to make a miraculous comeback and win the division because they still have to go to New England and play one more time. Yeah. Hopefully the wind isn't as bad as it was in
Buffalo.
New England.
You think they're going to win? Yeah, Ben, they are not going to win at Gillette.
Look at the Pats' record at home. They're only 3-4. I mean, they're a better road team.
But listen, they also they're in a groove right now. So
I get that.
Those games were lost at the beginning of the season when they're still trying to get their bearings. I don't know, man.
2 point swing with 4 games to go. I think the Bills could shake it out.
It could, but I think when they come to New England, I think the Patriots are going to smack them around again.
All right.
The
Bills got to worry about Miami catching them.
It's hard.
The Bills got to worry about making the playoffs. Period.
Yeah.
Let alone
it's hard to
division.
bet against It's hard to bet against the Patriots in December, man. Particularly,
they're playing on Christmas, right? The
This
Bills
is
and the Patriots.
Yeah.
This is what I was telling Leon the other day is the beauty of Bill Belichick. People hate him, right? But the beauty is you're not going to lose because of him. Every team loses because of their coach.
You're never gonna out coach him. He's always gonna get whether it's the timeouts right. I mean, listen, that game against Buffalo, the whole world knew that they were running. We seen it. Obviously, Mac Jones only threw it 3 times, and Buffalo could do nothing about it.
True.
People were talking about Mac Jones sucked. Like, what do you listen? That game plan was perfect.
Yeah.
The only reason why the Bills were even in that game is because of that muffed punt.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. Other than that, they were completely shut down. I mean, dominated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think Ben's got the Bills.
I'll be the outlier.
Yeah, but everyone else has the Patriots in that division.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the AFC North, and then everyone out there watching right now, get your picks in there. I want to see what you guys think. AFC
A
North.
lot of Pats. Like it was 100% Pats in the comments for the AFC.
You know why? It's just like I told that Buffalo fan in Buffalo. I've seen this story before.
Yeah.
By the way,
I've seen it before. They're
Talking
shit to me.
to the Bills fans, man.
Yeah,
Talking
I've seen
about
this-
that,
I've seen
did
how
you
this
guys
story
see?
ends.
Did you guys see any confrontations there at the game? Not with you guys, like
It was
amongst
too
other
cold.
fans.
Can I be
It's
honest
too-
with you? It was too cold to move, man. You could,
yeah, it was too cold. It's too
no
cold.
one like
want to
if,
fight,
if
right?
there was a fight there, it would have been in slow motion, literally.
Yeah, and nobody wants to get hit when it's that cold.
When
So-
yeah, right?
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
listen, everyone's bundled up like little snowmen, like little like
Yeah, you
like
can't
that kid
move.
from the, like
Yeah.
Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those
That
game
would have been the
shows when they
most
wear the
pathetic
sumo
fight
suit.
ever, man. Honestly, it would have been
I
terrible.
think those game shows where they wear the sumo suit and they try to
Yeah.
wrestle each other. It's like
Yeah.
that.
All right, let's move on to the AFC North. So we got really, this is a gosh, I mean,
Wide open field.
Yeah.
kind of right. I
everyone
mean,
got
it's
you.
possible. I mean, I don't think any of us see Pittsburgh pulling it off, but
Nah.
really, Baltimore,
Nah.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, all have, they have all of them have a legit shot of
Yeah.
taking this division. But
What's the status of Lamar?
So he's still questionable.
Yeah.
That's
I was gonna
Ankle
say, I
problem,
feel
right?
like the only complete team right now that could
It's-
really make a
it's
push for it is
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
yeah.
me too.
Cincinnati. But they too, they're just a hard luck team. It's like some of those games they absolutely should win, and then they find a way to lose. So
Oh, I know.
I don't think Pittsburgh's gonna get there. So I gotta go with, I don't know, I kind of gotta go with old hat in here and say Baltimore. Unless like Lamar's injury is just gonna keep him out for a good portion of these games. I still gotta believe Baltimore's gonna pull it out because they're another one of those teams that just pull out games.
Tough,
Even
tough.
last week it looked like they were out of it, and then they almost came back to win. So
Dude, they covered the spread though within that, which is still absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
gotta
PV
lean Baltimore, man.
PVJ
I
is
gotta
picking
lean
the
in.
Ravens
Really?
in the
We should, have
comments.
we should have had Justin on tonight too.
Yeah.
But,
Why?
I
What
was
is
on
it?
the-
my
phone
my
with you before
heart
we
my
went
heart
live.
is saying the Bengals, but my head's saying the Ravens. You know what though? The point differential for the Ravens is pretty terrible. It's only 20 points, man.
Exactly.
They're in every game. They don't really get.
they don't blow out teams. They're
Yeah.
whether they lose or win, most of their games are right there.
Listen, which is a good sign, honestly, because what that means is they're going to be battle tested, man. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm not a big believer in Jackson, man.
yeah, same here.
I'm just not. I
I
just feel
think-
like any season now that guy's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah,
True.
I think at the end of the day, man, as great as he is as a talent, when it comes to football, especially in the playoffs, you got to be able to throw that ball, man, in crucial moments. And that, the game plan when you're playing in the playoffs against a specific team, like regular season, yes, you game plan, but it's almost like on to the next, In the playoffs, you're focused on one team by week, whether you advance or not. So teams are more prone to adjust to him and the way he plays the game. So I think Cincinnati, like Ben said, they're the healthiest right now. Pittsburgh, they'll have a crazy win here and there, but they're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Cleveland, obviously, they're suffering through like COVID situations right now. Baker Mayfield is probably out. The head coach is going to be out. So right now, if I had a choice, I would probably say the Bengals, just because they're the healthiest
baby.
at the moment.
I'm still picking the Ravens, but I don't know. I want the Bengals to do it, but I'm not
Yeah.
picking the Ravens.
So I think the Bengals have the better schedule on the way out. The Ravens still play the Packers and the Rams.
Ooh.
And the Bengals play the Browns the last game of the season. So I'm gonna say the Bengals. I think the Bengals will end up pulling this one out.
Cincy.
I think the Ravens are going to win one of those two games, though.
Yeah, they always seem to find ways to.
Yeah.
You
I think
know?
they're going to win. They're going to split between the Rams and the Rams and the Packers. That's my opinion.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the AFC South. So you got the Tennessee Titans have this is a two-team race, and
Yep.
even then,
How are the
I don't know.
Titans still in the lead after all the this is a
They're-
terrible division.
After King
like-
Henry's going down.
They've been
They're
playing
just-
shitty teams. That's really been about it.
This is a
Yeah.
terrible division.
When
We
you
even
play
have to
4
talk
games
about this
against Houston and Jacksonville.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a terrible
I mean-
division. You're right, and like it's gonna. That's why Tennessee's doing so well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
4-1 in their division, yeah.
which is to be expected. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm with I'm going Tennessee here.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Tennessee just because I'm looking at the Colts schedule. Next 2 games, Raiders, Cardinals. That's going to be the end point for them. And then their last 2 games this season are going to be the Raiders and the Jags. So they'll more than likely win those 2 games, but the next 2 are going to be the real test.
This is the worst division in football. It's not arguable.
Yeah, probably.
It's gross. 2-11 teams. That's disgusting.
No, but even they're not like even I don't know, man. And listen, they're even worse than that suggests because Indianapolis and Tennessee are probably not as good as that record suggests.
Yeah,
correct.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Colts are better than they're looking, just because of the fact that they've had some big wins this season, especially outside the division. So
I like that Taylor too.
Yeah, they might have that.
I think the thing with the Colts is just Carson Wentz is too inconsistent, man. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's probably going to lead the league in rushing, more than likely. But Carson Wentz, he'll do some dumb shit every now and then that'll just cost them the game.
Don't I know it?
It's like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, you know firsthand. It's like, what are you doing, bro? So Tennessee with Vrabel, he's a pretty good coach, obviously. Tannehill, he's kind of, you know, he's consistent, I guess.
I can't stand Vrabel.
Why? He was a former Patriot.
No,
he was your linebacker.
I met him in person, and he was quite possibly the biggest dick I've ever met.
You could kind of see that. You get that vibe from him through the television a little bit.
Yeah.
There was this handicapped kid going to get his autograph, right? And he wanted on a specific spot on this helmet because he was trying to collect every player's autograph from that Patriots team. And listen, this kid was legit wheelchair bound, and I've never seen a more callous or disgusting handling of a request like that. Than what I actually got out of line, and I didn't get his autograph. I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Yeah, that's a dick move.
Yeah. Pierre's got principles.
That's right.
I wasn't gonna sit there for that. I was like, "Fuck you, man, I'm out of here."
Yep.
You know. But let's move on to the AFC West. Congratulations, Mike Vrabel, on somebody liking you as a coach. So AFC West. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs, we got the Chargers, we got the Broncos, and the Raiders, who just got fucking trounced.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have danced on the logo.
No, I think for this division, tomorrow is going to be the real test to see who's going to win. Just because
Chiefs,
Chargers and Chiefs tomorrow, and there's only 1 game separation. And Herbert's been fucking killing it lately.
Oh, that throw last week. Oh, my God.
Go Ducks, by the way.
Chargers defense is pretty suspect, though, right? I mean,
easily. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The Chiefs, I'd love to see the Chargers take out the Chiefs. Honestly, I'd fucking love it. Man, I'm Mahomes out, but
it's not Mahomes really this year. It's their defense.
Defense is incredible.
Yeah, their defense has found itself since the start of the season. I just think that like the Patriots, the Chiefs are coming on at the right time, and I just think they're going to take the division. I mean, I just think they're playing their best football at the right time, and they kind of know how to win this time of year. I just think that they're going to take it again in that division. I mean, the Chargers will give them a challenge, but at the end of the day, I think KC wins it. I really do. Shout out to Marin.
I think I got the Chargers. I think I got the Chargers here.
I like that.
Where they playing tomorrow? In LA?
No, they're in they're in LA. Sorry.
Unfortunately,
listen, the Chiefs they've run off 6 in a row, right? But I mean, they've been highly inconsistent, right? I mean,
the Chargers.
There were some close ones in there,
Chiefs.
But they haven't given up more than 17 points in
like the last 7-8 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who'd they play though?
They beat the Packers. They beat
the Bills,
the Raiders twice. They trounced the Broncos, and they beat the Cowboys in basically a defensive game. So the offense has been very inconsistent, but the defense has been very consistent.
Yeah.
Seems like every time I look up, their defense is scoring too.
Yep.
either on a pick six.
Well, the
or-
only real test then was Dallas, right? I mean, Green Bay's not an offensive juggernaut this year.
Mm,
Oh yeah, they are.
yeah,
They're
right.
not.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're not. They're
Yeah,
not a
they are.
juggernaut. They're good. They're not a top tier offense right now.
They don't have the run game like they did the last few years. I'll give you that.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to play the Packers right now.
Accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as worried about the Packers.
You going Chargers there, Pierre?
I'm taking the Chargers. In the
Oh,
red zone.
so when the Chiefs did beat the Packers, that was when Rodgers was out.
Yes.
That was that Jordan Love game that he couldn't even do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Bullseye.
where they sat his
His
parents.
mother all the way up in the top.
Yeah, yeah.
He was talking to the Lord upstairs.
No, they're not. Listen, the Green Bay Packers are not. The Green Bay Packers are not that formidable on offense this year. They're really not. They're not like that. They're not blowing people out and shit.
No, I mean, especially it kind of proved themselves against the Vikings a couple of weeks ago when, Aaron Rodgers and the offense came back toward the end, but it's like still lost by 3 points.
I'm not even worried about Aaron
And
Rodgers.
they were down that whole game.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't scare me. I don't know.
The other 12.
A couple years ago, he was pretty damn scary.
Yeah, I don't know. What's he won though? He's won once.
Once.
Yeah.
He's
And an
been
MVP.
Yeah, well, good for him. Let's move on to the NFC East.
God damn, Pierre.
Yeah,
We got the
exactly.
Cowboys, and the rest of the division sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
Cowboys are gonna
wait,
run away
I mean,
with this
you,
one.
you could throw the Cowboys in with that statement as well. But this might be the worst division in football.
See, that's where my head's at.
No way, man. You think so?
Yeah.
They're terrible.
I'd love to hear from everybody out there. What's worse, the NFC East or the AFC South?
You
You
got
guys
For me,
can
it's
Still gotta
for
go
me,
with
it's
the
always
South.
been the NFC East.
The NFC
The
East is still
NFC
better
East
than
has
the
always
South.
been that way, right? Like just always like that.
They always beat each other up, I feel like.
Yeah.
Look at the entire division's non-conference record.
Yeah,
1-4, 1-4, 2-3, 2-3.
exactly.
Still got
The,
playoff
the Jaguars at least beat the Bills, for Christ's sake.
Which I don't know how the hell that happened.
Defensive game, man. Just
Because the way-
nobody could do anything except kick field goals.
The way
Let's
the
just
Jags are
face
playing
it.
right
Let's
now.
just face it. The Bills are overrated. Like, I mean, that's the reality.
They
Mhm.
were
They're
going
overrated.
into the season, yeah. They just
Yeah.
have not lived up to their expectations this year,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah, I think almost by default it's the Cowboys. I do want to give the Cowboys that dude Micah Parsons, man. Obviously, I know one guy
he's a
can't win a
stud.
game, but he's incredible.
He's a stud.
And
He's
True.
incredible. But yeah, it's
Exactly.
almost by default they win this division because I mean Washington, they kind of Taylor Heineke's their quarterback. I mean, he can only do but so much.
Yeah.
take care of him this week.
Philly is kind of inconsistent with Jalen Hurts. Now Gardner Minshew had a good game the other week, and now it's I don't know if it's it's against my bum ass Jets. But, yeah, I guess Dallas got this one for sure.
Yeah. Ugh.
I mean, I don't think there's much of a question there.
Yeah.
There's not many
All
races.
right, let's go to the
going on.
NFC North. I mean,
So the NFC East should be the reason we have relegation in professional sports. And
All right. Let's move on from the NFC.
anyway,
all right. So we're in the NFC North. I think everyone's got Green Bay here. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, easily.
It's another bad division.
Yeah, I was just gonna. This is a bad division too.
this
Yeah.
is
Listen, man. When someone wrote arguable, they're right. Look, even the NFC South is terrible.
Yeah,
The NFC
They're
as
all
a
terrible.
whole outside the West is pretty.
NFC
bad.
is very, very, very top heavy.
top heavy. Yeah,
Yeah.
The Vikings should be better than what their record says.
They
Like,
should be. Yes, I agree.
like Cousins has actually had a pretty solid year, but
He's
just the rest
He's
of
a
his
good
team
quarterback.
is letting him down.
yeah.
He just can't get it done in the big game. Anytime
big
you want to depend on him, he
What big games has he had though? Like
I mean, they just
His
never
team-
get on a roll, you know.
I mean, this year the Packers was about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good to like Andrew Branch and the Packers are dog walking the division. I don't know if that's a good thing, man.
No, it's not.
No, that it's almost to like the
Listen,
thing. Like, remember,
there's a reason why the NFC East sometimes is still tough to play because they beat the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I know they're not. I know it's not a good division, but they always are known for beating the shit out of each other.
Can you call pillow fights beating the shit out of each other? NFC East is terrible.
All right, Jason. All right.
Jason,
Wow.
this is coming from a guy who cheers for the Raiders. So I guess
Trust me, they've had a shitty year.
But the NFC East has many years has beat the shit out of each other, and they've been tough to deal with.
Yeah.
They play probably the biggest rivalries seem to be out there.
Yeah, those rivalries are pretty intense.
Those rivalries are intense, man.
That's also East Coast media bias too.
Well, Dallas isn't in the East.
Yeah, but Dallas is they have always been in the East. They've always been.
They're not the East Coast. They're down in the South.
Whatever. Jesus Christ.
Look, I'm the one that
because they play against Philly and New York and Washington all the time. So yes, there's East Coast bias there.
All right.
I think you're exerting bias on the East Coast right now. So like I think we can sit there and play that game all day. But like, I think someone calling something biased is biased themselves when they're not from there.
There's an East Coast bias in the media. There is.
I don't know. Like in the NBA, you think there is?
In the NBA,
I think there's a West Coast bias in the NBA. How about that?
Absolutely.
Well, all right, whatever.
It depends on the sport, man. It's just like the South has a bias for NCAA football.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so NFC South, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then the other loser teams.
Bucks, baby, all the way.
Yeah, no one's catching.
Leon, you got Atlanta taking this one?
No, sir.
Yeah, the Falcons are screwed this Sunday, so because they're playing the Niners, which we're obviously going to cover in the next division. But Bucks, one more win and they got it locked up. So
yeah, the Falcons are going to let in like a billion points.
I just can't believe this motherfucker's still going, man. Tom Brady. I can't believe it. I even can't believe it. I'm his biggest fan, and I can't believe it anymore.
He's probably going to win the MVP this year, to be honest.
I was 11 years old when he came into the league.
He's a cyborg.
I'm 33 now.
Listen, man, this shit's insane, man. Come on. No, you can't. Whether you hate this guy or not, this stuff's insane.
It makes me never want to eat bread again.
Never eat bread again. He doesn't eat ice cream or strawberries either.
Avocado ice cream, right?
Yeah, it's not like real ice cream. This is fucking crazy. All right, so Leon's choice to win it all is the Arizona Cardinals.
Look, there's Leon's guys.
Wow.
Somehow this lucky son of a bitch, armed with his Athlon NFL annual, was able to extract that information and create this windstorm as the Arizona Cardinals. So, Leon, are you still thinking the Arizona Cardinals are going to hold off the LA Rams?
Yeah, I mean, despite them losing to the Rams last week, I think they still got what it takes.
Stay strong with them, Leon.
Yeah, we can't go back now.
No, I mean, looking at everybody's schedule between the Niners, like the Niners still have a snowball's chance in hell of getting in. Because hold on one sec. The Niners have Falcons who they're probably going to win this Sunday, then the Titans who they're probably going to beat, then the Texans who they're probably going to beat. Last game of the season against the Rams, the Niners already beat the Rams. So in theory, they could still come back and do it. And especially because the Rams have a harder schedule down these last 4 games, but the Cardinals have the Lions. That's going to be a win. The Colts up in the air, Cowboys up in the air, and Seahawks, honestly, is up in the air.
Ben, can I challenge you on something?
Bring it.
You just said that a lot of teams that are like around 500 are up in the air for the Rams, but then you said very, very quickly, you said the 49ers were going to beat the Titans. Like you just glossed over, you said they're going to beat the Titans.
Yeah. Easily.
It sounds like it sounds like you like that's like wishful thinking. Like you're just saying, you're trying to manifest it.
Well, I mean, look at the way the Niners have been playing the last few weeks. I mean, I can't think of any reason. And plus, they got Deebo Samuel back 100%. So Kittle was Offensive Player of the Week last week. So between Kittle, Garoppolo actually completing passes, Debo Samuel being used as a run option, I can't think of any reason why they wouldn't beat the Titans.
All right. Well,
I mean, the Titans are beat the shit right now. I mean,
you haven't sold me on it, Ben, but
all right.
But you certainly state a great case.
Hey,
is that game in San Fran or in Tennessee?
It's actually in Tennessee.
Okay, so now this is going to be ridiculous. Leon, will you chime in here and battle Ben on that? You believe that Ben can just flippantly say San Francisco is going to roll over the Titans?
I don't know about if I can guarantee it. That seems more like a pick'em game to me. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I guess we'll have to mark that one down on our calendars.
Bring it on.
That should be the game of the week.
You always have Andrew Branch. Like, I know you're a Green Bay fan. I can tell. I mean, but like, relax, man. It's okay. I just don't like your team. That's all. I like you, Andrew. You're a great supporter of the channel. I just don't like your team, and I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, man. They were better with Brett Favre.
Favor.
Well, right, I was going to say Brett Favre was better with the Packers because he had better coaches than Aaron Rodgers has.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But Andrew Branch, I do appreciate your support and enjoy having you on the channel. So this is how the playoffs would shake out right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just the power rankings.
Oh, power.
Okay.
Or,
no, that's the playoff picture, man.
Yeah, it's the playoff picture at the currently.
Leon is titled playoff picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so we just need to get by Washington and Minnesota, and we'll be there.
Bang.
Bang. This week.
Talk.
Well, we're going to take care of Washington on Sunday, so we just need the Vikings to lose.
But if you look, it's crazy. You look at all these teams, right? On both in the NFC and the AFC. Yeah. I mean, literally, like the 11th seed in each division still kind of somewhat has a chance. I mean, there's only a few teams at the current moment: the Jets, the Jaguars, the Lions. Oh, it says it right there. Yeah, there we go. And Texans. They're like completely eliminated. But all these other teams, it's kind of interesting to see that. All I mean,
there's a lot of like 500-ish teams.
Yeah,
there's a lot of parity.
All right, the Saints are about to get knocked out.
Parity.
Come on, Seahawks.
Russell
Keep
Wilson
losing, baby.
is willing to waive his no trade clause to go to the Giants.
Oh God, please. That's because Sierra wants to be in New York.
Yeah.
Where's Future live?
Atlanta.
Yeah, they want to get the fuck away from there too, right? They don't want to go down there. That's for sure. All right, let's move on, guys. So it's time to talk about the main topic here, which is who is the greatest shooter in NBA history. And before we jump into the discussion, I mean, there's some bias here already. Jason's wearing a Golden State hat. You got Neil wearing one. And then you've got Ben, who I know is going to oppose it because he's wearing his Pacers jersey. He's already been sending statistics about Reggie Miller.
Goddamn right.
What would happen. But I love it in the chat if you guys could all share who you think is the greatest shooter of all time in the NBA and maybe why. But so who's on Team Steph right now? Jason, you're on Team Steph?
Me? Yeah, actually I am.
Ugh.
No, I mean,
Stephen.
we'll get to my argument about about that a little bit. I'll let everybody go with their choices on this first, because I mean they're like, as you said, there's some stats that I could throw at it, but undeniably Curry is still the best perimeter shooter of all time.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to argue against that.
Yeah.
Just because of the stats, the frequency of makes. He's top 10 all time in 3-point field goal percentage. In fact, there's only two players that are top 10 3-point field goal percentage and 3-pointers made. Steph Curry and Iowa's own Kyle Korver. But I'm not going to throw Kyle Korver into the mix because he was basically a role player that just camped out in the corner all day long.
Yeah.
And he's a Creighton guy, so fuck him for that.
You don't
He's
think,
what?
you know,
Creighton.
listen,
He's
I
a
just
Creighton
wanna
guy.
have a hard time understanding, right? Is like, I don't want to like, I don't want to just dismiss his ability. I'm just trying to figure out like, what do rule changes and the way the game is played have to do with it? So even when you talk about 3-point shooting percentage, that stats don't tell everything, because stats aren't able to normalize the differences in the game from 15 years ago to now.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, like, do I think he's an amazing shooter? Yes, but I'm not convinced he's the best of all time. There's no way. I'm not convinced. I'm not.
Like
Reggie Miller to me was as automatic a shooter as there was.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean,
and
I
I'm
agree
not
with
saying,
that.
I'm not saying that Steph isn't at his level or better. I'm just saying, I don't know. How do you know?
You know why I think
The
he's
game is
firstly,
soft.
in my opinion, why I think he's the best shooter of all time. In the past of the history of the NBA, obviously you have like different types of 3-point shooters. You guys that could off the bounce that could shoot threes. You got spot up shooters, and Steph Curry incorporates all of those and can do it like nobody's ever seen. Like you seen guys like Reggie Miller is one that he was a great, incredible catch and shoot 3-point guy. Yep. He wasn't a guy you really seen off the dribble, cross over somebody.
But why was that though? Why was that though?
Well, I think part of it has
because the skill didn't exist, or is it because the game was played differently? Is my point.
Well, no, the game was definitely played differently, but I think it also has to do with Steph Curry has the ball a lot in his hands as opposed to the way Reggie and Ray Allen, because he's a point guard. Those guys were kind of coming off screens, so the ball wasn't in their hand to kind of do as Steph Curry does at the moment. Possibly could they have done it? I'm pretty sure, yeah. But I just think the way he's able to incorporate every aspect of 3-point shooting, in which how he can do it, is why I consider him the best 3-point shooter of all time.
I mean, yes, I know I'm biased. That's my guy. I know, but I mean, it's always hard. I always find it hard just to compare eras. And I know that Reggie Miller was an assassin. Ray Allen, Larry Bird. Before that, there were other great shooters. I mean, even shooters that you don't hear of as much, but just were just killers, you know. But yep. Steph, there's just something different about Steph, the way he shoots. Steph kind of made the 3-point shot into this almost unguardable weapon that you almost have to change the defense to try to stop over the years since he really started, taking over. That Warrior team really started going. And he's just on another level. He shoots from all over the place. He'll walk past the center court and shoot a 3 from the logo. He was one of the first to really start doing that and make shots. He makes these crazy shots. He's always open. I mean, he's open when he walks in the gym. He's just, to me, in my mind, and I've seen the others, in their prime, and they were fantastic. But Steph is just on another level. He just really is. And this is just my humble opinion, is that in my humble opinion, Steph is the best because, and as Kyle said, he finds every kind of way you can think of to shoot. He does it. And he works hard for some of those shots too.
I don't know, man. To me, this is like comparing. Listen, this is almost like comparing ERAs with pitchers.
Yeah.
In an era that was full of it's not normalized. I don't care what you see with your own 2 eyes. That doesn't mean that people that's just, you're seeing him. You're seeing him.
Yeah, and the game is defended differently now. There is
yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. But at the same time, hey, if you can shoot, you can shoot. And I've always been impressed by him, and I've liked the others as well. I've always been a fan of shooting, but Steph, just in my mind, he just does it on a whole nother level. And that's just one man's opinion.
Well, I think the other big thing that we need to look at is how much the offense has evolved between Reggie coming in '87. Ray Allen coming in '96, and then Curry coming in '09. And, the tail end of the 80s into the 90s, it was still a dominant, you're going to run the offense through your center and your power forward. Right. You're going in the paint, you're getting the easy points. Because it shows, even if you've never watched basketball, you just look at the stat line for this. And, 3-pointers attempts, which was the stat that I sent you guys. Reggie Miller for his career, 4.7 3-pointers attempted per game. Ray Allen, 5.7. Steph Curry, 8.7. So those are career numbers. And then you look at percentage and it's like, okay, Reggie Miller, 39.5%. Ray Allen, 40%. Steph Curry, 43%. And he's dealing with an extra like 3 to 4 feet on average just because they moved the 3-point line a little bit further back. And he did in way less time. And so, but also Curry, starting with what I said with Miller into Ray Allen, transitioning from a center power forward heavy offense, moving it outside, making it more guard reliable. And then now it's the point guard and shooting guards are, running the entire offense scoring wise, which was not the case 20, 30 years ago. So there's just a lot of intangibles that have come outside of stats, just the way the offense is run these days that in my opinion, I would still say
I want to let Jason talk because Jason's been trying to get in, but that's my point is like, I don't, it's a different game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And so you had said earlier that the game is softer now, right? And I think we can all agree with that. There's less hand checking.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So theoretically, if the game is softer, you would think that the game would move more inside, like into the paint, because
no.
It's easier to drive. It's easier to get it into the center. Why?
That's not the game. There's a lot of other factors here, Jason, than just.
No, I'm just saying. I'm using that one factor.
No, the game is softer because you can't hand check the same way. You can't play. They're not afraid to get hit. So if a guy standing at the 3-point line, right, and he's about to take a 3-point shot, and he knows he's not going to get fucking touched. There's a lot less pressure than a guy back in the 80s who felt like he was going to get fucking clothesline when he went up for a shot. There's a difference in your mentality. It's almost like being a sniper and having nothing else around you. But like if you start taking a brick and slapping it near their ear, like they do in sniper training, all of a sudden things change. It's a different mentality, is what I'm saying. It's almost like you have no pressure, no worries. No one's going to hit you. No one's going to come near you. Just take your fucking 3-point shot. Back in the day, they'd be worried about getting fucking clothesline or knocked to the ground. That's a difference in the game. They've made it so, yes, Steph Curry helped change rules 100%. But Steph Curry's also been enabled by the rules because he doesn't have the same level of pressure when he's taking those shots, period. End of story. His elusiveness wouldn't have been the same if Gary Payton was checking him back in the 90s. It wouldn't be. Yeah. Because Gary Payton would have been fucking physical with him. And he wouldn't be just hopping around and squirming around like he does now because someone would be busting his ass. That's the difference in the game.
Although
that's a reality. No one can argue that with me because you just got to go watch tape. There were battles at the guard position too.
Yeah.
You would get beat up. And they're talking, Allen Iverson was literally hammered every time he fucking touched the ball. Steph Curry doesn't have any of that. None.
Although the great scorers will still find a way to score, even back then. And
I'm not saying Steph Curry isn't great.
I know. I grew up watching that stuff. I mean, that's the era I grew up in, and I understand that. But the greats still find a way to score. And
back in the day, if Gary Payton was D'ing this fucker up, right, and he got away from Gary Payton by some act of God, there'd be a power forward knocking him on his ass. That's how the game was played.
But that's not Steph's fault that he didn't.
I didn't say it's Steph's fault. What I'm saying is you don't know.
Hard to compare. Yeah.
It's always hard. It's always
hard to
compare errors. Yeah, it's always hard to.
It's like trying to compare Cy Young to fucking Pedro Martinez. Like, how do you fucking do that?
But there's also
it is hard.
It is hard, but there are guys that played in those eras that would not because of the physicality of today's NBA, skill wise, they wouldn't even last in the NBA today. So yeah, like Pierre, I agree with you with the physicality and everything that in the 80s and the 90s. Yes, that would have made things totally different. But I think a guy like Curry, he would have been able to adjust to it. Yes, it would have been different, obviously.
No, listen, Kyle, I'm not saying he's not a great player. That wouldn't have been
of course. No, I'm not. You're not saying that.
There's no goddamn way this guy is doing what he's doing right now in the 90s, he would get beat up. And it wouldn't be the guy covering him. It would just be someone coming on help defense, just to knock him on his ass. They would teach him a lesson about getting free and abated like that and just taking all these shots.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Of course.
Well, I watched that era of basketball, and I understand Steph Curry's fantastic. I don't deny that. I don't like Steph Curry. But I also know that records like this, you can't normalize it. You just can't. He's taken twice as many shots as Reggie Miller.
Yeah. Well, and then add to what you're saying, Pierre. And of course I'm going to hype Reggie Miller a little bit more on this one. Look at Reggie Miller in the playoffs, and it's just like every time he got hot, whatever team it was going against, they're going to stick a double team on him. Like, I don't see Curry. Like, he's able to shake defenders the same way Reggie Miller was able to back in the day. Like, Reggie really had to fight for his shots way more physically than Curry's had to. But teams went in with that mentality. It's like, no, we're gonna knock Reggie on his ass as soon as he gets hot, and they're gonna have to force the ball inside. And you got Patrick Ewing, you got Charles Oakley,
and to
you got
support
Anthony Mason to deal with now.
Support one of Jason's points, right? I will support Jason in this respect. With that point, is there's not the advantage of kicking it in and then kicking it back out the same way there used to be. So that is an advantage. That it was an advantage back then to a degree, because you could. It was almost like in football, having a run game and a passing game. You could still keep people more honest, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, man, I'm going to defer to the rest of you guys to kind of finish up the conversation. But I got to say, after watching as much basketball as I did as a kid and growing up, and the physicality, watching the physicality deteriorate over time, and the softness of the league, people are saying, I don't know. We don't know that. I do know that. I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. There's not a doubt in my mind that if he was playing in the 90s, he does not get off this many 3-point shots. Not even close. He would get beat up.
Well, I also think, like you said, Pierre, it had to, obviously in the 90s, he would have not, because the game was just different too. Like you said, remember, I mean, obviously it was more of an inside out type of game. So yeah, besides the physicality aspect of playing against, like you said, guys like Gary Payton, and I mean, there's so many other guys you could keep naming, but I just think the way the game was played, like you mentioned, there was so many centers: Shaq, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick.
I'm trying to make more of a case for why we don't know if these other guys are as good, less than saying he's not good. So for me, like my whole thing is watching Ray Allen shoot the ball. I don't know. I don't think Ray Allen was just a fucking spot, like a spot shooter. Like that's not
he became that later on in his career.
He was a slasher. He could get
a slasher with the Bucks and Seattle. He was a
people are trying to make it out like Ray Allen's like sitting outside the 3-point line, waiting to get the ball passed to him.
Ray Allen, when he was with Milwaukee and Seattle, though, he really became more of a, I wouldn't even say a spot up shooter, but he became more of a specialist. If that, I mean, he did more than that, but it was when he got to Boston with Milwaukee and Seattle, that guy, especially Milwaukee. If you go back and look, obviously I know you guys know, but if people go on YouTube and look at him on Milwaukee, that dude was getting to the basket with he was athletic.
He was the best player.
He was in a dunk contest when
he was incredible. Ray Allen. He
was their best player back then.
Yeah, this was fun. Listen, somebody's saying, how do you know those guys would survive in the NBA today? Why? Because it's less physical. Like, I mean, I don't understand why people don't realize the physicality makes it harder, not easier. Physicality makes games harder, not easy.
You can get a flagrant foul for hitting someone by accident nowadays.
I know.
Back then, you wouldn't even get a flagrant foul for hitting someone on purpose.
Carl Malone would have got tossed in so many games.
Himself has said it's unwatchable.
No, yeah. You know what pisses me off with what, I mean, obviously Curry's changed the game, but I don't think it's for the better, because you got guys that are just chucking threes now that have no reason to be shooting. Like, there's only a few guys in the NBA that should be doing what they're doing from the 3-point line. Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, like guys like that. Of course, if they're up there chucking, but they can do it. You got guys that are just up there shooting that have no business.
What's Harden's 3-point shooting percentage?
I don't know, but I know he's 4th on the list right now all time.
I got.
He's like in the high 30s.
High 30s, I think.
It was like what, like 38, 39?
Probably, yeah.
But his percentage was boosted because he used to always do that lean-in shot.
Step back.
Because if he was getting fouled and missing, then that doesn't count against your average.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was always hooking people's arms and stuff while shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at 36%.
Yeah, so that's not a great percent. That's the
His
thing with
Steph.
Steph.
His volume is insane.
Yeah.
His volume has dropped immensely since he went to Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, on the other side of the coin, though, and this is just food for thought. The difference, though, also is if let's say hypothetical, he gets in Doc Brown's DeLorean and goes back in time and plays with his dad back in the day. But the mentality would be different. So if Steph grew up, playing ball in that era, you would be used because you're playing that on the schoolyard, you're playing that in the playground, you're playing that all through your school years, all through high school, college, everything. And when you get in the NBA, you're used to that style, that physicality kind of style of basketball that they played back then. So I think you kind of would be adjusted to that. Whereas he grew up in a time where maybe there wasn't as much of that physicality, and he's just a product of how the game, is played today. So, who knows? I mean, we don't know, but if he was playing back then the way
I think
his
you think
dad
I'm
was,
arguing that he's not
maybe
good.
the difference is maybe that he would be used to it because that's how he would have to play at that time.
They might not have let him play the way he plays now.
Oh yeah, he would have definitely not played the way he plays now.
Yeah. I still think he would
the-
be a good scorer. But
Listen, huge accomplishment. I'm not going to take away from the guy's accomplishment, right? Because this is it's incredible to hit that many 3-pointers at that rate, 43%. That's insane. What I'm getting at here is, and I've been trying to say this without being disrespectful to Steph Curry, is I'm not convinced he's the best shooter to ever play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not convinced. I'm convinced that he did change the game. He's a fantastic player. And I also think he was aided by rules changes, and he was aided by the less physicality that exists in the NBA today. And people were saying, I see P4P boxing saying that he could tackle him, but he couldn't cover him. There are guys that could cover him. I'm sorry, there are, and
they're definitely
good team defense could have contained him to a degree with the physicality. It could have. If you have a really good one-on-one defensive player and good help defense, and you're allowed to be somewhat physical, I'm pretty certain the guy's not getting off 8.5 threes per game at 43%. I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
But also they're not thinking of shooting that many threes a game back then too.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the bigger things that kind of comes from that is look at fast break opportunities. How many teams get a fast break,
go to the 3-point line,
3-point line, as opposed to guys like Ray Allen and Reggie Miller? It's like, fuck it, I'm going to dunk this shit.
Yeah. I think that's where which I also think, Pierre, you mentioned earlier, that just stats, that whole analytics stuff is to me, I get it. Some of it's useful, but the whole concept of just chucking up threes and it's better than twos is yeah, but if your threes aren't going in, why are you remember a few years back when Houston,
you're watching a game where you were like, why don't they just take it to the rack?
Just take it to the rack.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're just out there shooting.
You got a wide open lane and they're taking a 3.
Yeah, it's not called fast break anymore. It's called
it'll be a 2-on-1 break or 3-on-1 break. The guy with the ball he'll be running up court, and the guys in the wings all go to the 3-point line.
Yeah.
You have a 3-on-1 break. Take the 2.
Yeah.
So there's less specialists nowadays, right? So I think each team wants to have multiple guys at 6'9" with big wingspans and then do all the same stuff.
I blame it on Rasheed Wallace.
I just think it's going to be interesting to see how much he finishes with. All right. I mean, and will it kind of be, obviously we've spoken about records in the past, but
he could play forever. This guy, he could become a specialist at the end of his career. I mean, you never know. He could be doing what, he could do this until he's 40. I mean,
Oh, easily. No, this record that he's continually adding to, and he could play for another 10 years if he wanted to. It's never going to be broken.
No,
it'd be very difficult. Very difficult.
Because a lot of guys that are coming into the league now and are going to be coming into the league in the future. I think of Trae Young at the moment.
Yeah,
he's a guy that shoots high volume 3-pointers, but he's not as efficient as Steph Curry.
Right.
So you might get guys that'll start shooting more threes as time go on, but they're not going to be as efficient as Curry was. So that's why I think when Curry's all said and done, it's going to be so hard to catch him because just the efficiency. Yeah, guys might shoot a lot more threes, but the efficiency probably wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are very few shooters before Curry and currently who can pop a shot up as quickly and as accurately as Curry can. And that's why, as staunch of a Reggie Miller supporter as I am, I have to give the edge to Curry just in that regard.
It's just his
call
shot
him-
release is so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would call him the
Ridiculous.
most lethal shooter, more so than anything else.
Yeah.
That would be my word for what he does, the most lethal.
Because Clay might be a better shooter than him, to be honest.
It's arguable. It's arguable.
Clay's got a good shot too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
but Clay is not
He's not dribbling.
scoring off the
Yeah.
dribble with
Off the
three
dribble,
guys on him.
exactly.
Well, and Clay being out for the last 2 years, I mean, has
That's
really
hurting.
helped.
Clay is irrelevant at this point.
Yeah. I just think it's listen, we've always had great shooters in the NBA throughout the years. Glenn Davis, Dale Ellis had the record for a while until Reggie Miller broke it.
Glenn Rice is where you were going with that.
Right.
Glenn Rice, all right, sorry, wrong guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
But growing up for me, Ray Allen was always my favorite guy. Growing up. I mean, I loved Ray Allen. Obviously from the movie He Got Game, and then throughout the league, I just loved the way his form was so perfect to me. So I just always loved him, but it's just hard to go against Curry, man. What he's done so far and what he's gonna continue to do, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's going to end up with close to 4,500 3-point.
Mm.
3-pointers.
Yeah.
Yep.
If he continues his pace and plays for, how long people think he will.
Yeah.
So that's going to put him at more than 50% more than second place. That will be a greater distance between first and second than the current record for that, which is Gretzky points over Yager.
Yager, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is at like
Yeah.
49%. So it's going to be right up there with one of the most unbreakable records in sports.
Pierre, you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who do you think is the best shooter in your opinion of all time?
Listen, I'd be willing to say pure shooting. I would say Steph.
Okay.
I just don't see. I'm not.
I know what you
I'm not
mean.
gonna tell you guys. Listen, you're all sitting here and on Steph's jock. I mean, for me, like I firmly believe he is not that player in the old NBA. He's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, but the old NBA doesn't exist anymore. It's changed for a reason.
Jason, the question is, who's the best shooter of all time? And
I'm
whether or not, when you take just raw analytics and you're throwing out data, I'm throwing out facts about the way the game was played, which normalizes the data. So data is great in one respect, but if you're not making it relevant to the era the player plays in and trying to compare two players that are completely different eras, you're not having the conversation about what they were up against in their respective eras, then that is only half of the story. So I understand numbers.
Sir.
Okay. No, it's the truth. If you're going to say that someone is this or someone is that, and you're not talking about the era they played in and the effect that era or the rules have on their effectiveness, just like quarterbacks right now in the NFL, same thing. Dan Marino would have ate up this league. He would throw for 6,000 yards.
Yeah.
So without having that part of the conversation, it's not a full conversation. And if we just all sat up here and all six of us said, Steph Curry's the best, he's the best, there's no doubt he's the best. Like, what's the interest in that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think the other point that you haven't, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this, is the fact that Curry, based on his physical form in general, probably wouldn't have cut it in the NBA 20, 30 years ago. I mean, he's 6'2". And one, he's not going to be a point guard, especially with his shooting ability. He's going to be a shooting guard.
Right.
So I don't know. There's
the prettiest shot of all time. The prettiest shot of all time, without question, is fucking Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Prettiest.
Mm-hmm.
Clay Thompson is up there.
Clay's is beautiful too. But what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is, Jason, it's not to attack you. It's more about, like, I want to balance in the discussion that's about the kind of normalizing the eras and understanding that it's not always what it seems statistically. You know, it's really not like, so like even in baseball during the steroid era, those inflated ERAs were part of the era. It wasn't because this pitcher was less effective. It's because
that other guy was juicing out his ass.
The other guy was juicing. That's why whenever I talk about Pedro Martinez, I say he's the best because he pitched against steroid freaks and had sub-2 ERAs. So when people tell me Clayton Kershaw is more dominant, I laugh. You know, that's all.
Steph fought the stereotype too, right? So he wasn't highly recruited in college. He was barely.
Dude, you had guys think that Johnny Flynn was going to have a longer and better career than Steph Curry. And at that point, I thought that was fucking insane. And I mean, and this goes before Curry running, with Davidson in the tournament. I mean, I saw Curry play in a lot of the regular season games. And it's like, I think he's got the skill to it, but
like
I'm not stupid enough to say that Johnny Flynn.
What's that? Went before him in that draft, I think. 4 point guards.
Ricky Rubio, too.
Ricky Rubio, Johnny
Timberwolves passed them twice.
Yeah.
Listen, I think through all the generation, I mean all the eras, you've had great shooters, obviously the era the way the game is played now, definitely it's benefited all the players, everybody, literally. I mean, offensively, the game is so much more open now. You don't have no clutter in the lane because there aren't really any great dominant big men. So the floor is more spaced out. So Pierre, no, I agree with what you say as far as like the physicality, the way the game is played now. That's all benefited Curry to be able to, do what he's been able to do for the past 12, 13 years he's been in the league, and he's going to continue to do, And
I'll say this, as much as it pains me, he's one of the 10 best players to play the game, in my opinion. So I'm not gonna sit here and discount everything this guy's done. I just wanted to have a good discussion around normalization, because normalization is where it's at. There's going to be like even quarterbacks now, like are these quarterbacks really better than the ones that were around 10 years ago? Or
I know.
No. Peyton Manning right now, would he throw for 6,000 yards? Like, there's a lot. No, I'm being honest. Like, these games are changing faster than we can even keep up.
Well, you figure football is going to be flagged soon, right? I mean, the way the rules are, the quarterbacks are just able to.
Would Tom Brady still be playing right now?
Oh, if he played 30 years ago, not a chance.
No, if he and even would he still want to play if he knew that the rules weren't in play that were going to protect him? I mean, there's so much stuff that makes these sports different from era to era. So I appreciate Ray Allen for what he brought. I appreciate Reggie Miller for what he brought, and those two are in distinctly different eras too.
Yeah.
And then I appreciate what Steph Curry brings, even though I don't like him. But I also am very cognizant of rules and what changes and the vibe of the game, the way the game is built, and what it does to performance.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what's this about? Money.
Mm-hmm.
It's about money.
That chicken dinner.
That's all it's about. It's all about money. What's going to bring in more money? A defensive fucking war like the San Antonio Spurs, like when they used to hold people to 70 points a game.
God,
the running gun where you're seeing 120 points per team.
Great fucking days. Those Spurs teams, my God.
They were terrible to watch.
Why?
Unless you were a fan of theirs.
Unless you're a fan of theirs, it was like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
And the NBA knew it.
Yeah.
The NBA knew it. There was nothing sexy about the San Antonio Spurs.
I agree with that.
New Jersey Devils of the NHL.
So if you're watching your product, right, get less and less relevant, and it was.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? I don't know. This was great though, guys. I really appreciate that. And this gets heated sometimes, but I still enjoy it, man. And listen, I'm willing to say that Steph Curry is one of the 10 best players to ever play the game, in my opinion, because he's had a huge effect on the game. I think the discussion's relevant though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised no one brought up Larry Legend in the warm-up coat. That's gotta be one. That's legendary.
Who's asking who's coming in second place?
Yeah. But listen, Larry Bird was fantastic, but like he couldn't hold a candle to Steph from a shooting perspective. I always say this: Larry Bird's most comparable player is LeBron James. Everyone talks LeBron Jordan. I think the most comparable player to Larry Bird is LeBron James.
Yeah, if you look stat wise, right? I mean, people forget that Larry Bird could do it all on the court.
He could rebound.
Plus, he was 6'10" on top of that, so he could shoot, he could rebound, he could pass. He just wasn't athletic, but his smarts, he was able to.
Statistically, he's the most comparable player to LeBron James.
No, he is. He is. When you look at the stats, he really is.
Yeah. But well, guys, thank you so much for this conversation. We had some good people. We had a good crowd in here. A lot of people don't like me after this, but that's okay. I don't care, man. It's all about debate and having good discussions. But guys, thank you so much. Any last word before we wrap up for today?
Yeah, the Pacers were tied going into the fourth quarter against the Bucks, and they're losing by 20 right now. I don't know how the fuck that happens.
They need Reggie Miller back.
Yeah, they do.
Giannis isn't even playing.
Need a few of those guys back.
And Giannis is in protocol.
Yeah, Giannis isn't even playing.
We lost to the undermanned Heat today, so I mean,
nobody cares about Philadelphia. Nobody cares about
Lowry doing work. Kyle Lowry, baby.
I will mention that Steph got the record wearing a Philadelphia Warriors throwback, though.
Wow.
And I will have that jersey next month.
And of course, and not to mention that, of course, it would happen at the Garden, right? What other way?
Of course.
What other way? What other way?
He was just waiting, Kyle. He
course.
Said, you know what?
I'm waiting until I get to MSG.
In Indiana, I want it at the Garden.
I also want to call attention to Jason survived 90-mile-per-hour winds today.
Ooh.
Oh wow!
And
really?
I didn't even get a T-shirt.
The boxes.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the house shake at all or anything? Nothing.
Yeah, it did sound like the roof was going to rip off at one point.
Oh god!
Oh wow!
Gosh.
Well, are you good? Are you good now?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's scary.
All boxes are safe. No toppers orders got lost.
There might have been a few boxes that flew away out front, but they weren't out front, so I don't know. Maybe
you gotta give the USPS some credit, man. They still come out in that stuff.
Boxes.
Yeah, well, at least you and the family are safe.
That UPS guy was definitely a
trooper
for his life.
Like the scene from The Wizard of Oz in the house, just
he made sure he made sure his brakes were working today.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. For all you viewing, thank you for watching. Leon, big fella, take us away.
Make sure you guys are dropping a like on the video on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Viewsfromthevault.com for official merch. For Kyle, Ben, Neil, Jason, Pierre, and Leon.